Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are preparing for your GCSEs, you are in the right place. Today, we are diving deep into some of the tough GCSE questions. The kind that often appears as 4 or 5 markers and can make or break your grade. Don't miss out, these are exactly the types of questions that will boost your confidence and help you score the top grades. So grab a notebook, stay focused, and let's break them down step by step. So let's get started. Question 1 says a school has 1,000 students. Let me tell you, these are not past paper questions, these are mock questions. And obviously, these are the types of questions that will definitely help you scoring the top grade 8 or 9. A school has 1,000 students. Every student likes at least one of 3 languages subject: French, Spanish, and English. The Venn diagram below represents how many students like each language. The probability that a randomly chosen student likes French but not Spanish is 1 over 5. Using the information above, complete the Venn diagram. Completing the Venn diagram, which means we have to calculate the value of x and y, and then we have to put the numbers there. So obviously, in the circles, you can see it's x and y. We have 2 variables. And if there are 2 variables, that means we need 2 equations so that they will be the simultaneous equations and we can solve them to get x and y. First equation is easy. That's given here right there. It says the probability that a randomly chosen student likes French but not Spanish. Likes French. This is French. So this whole will represent those students that like French, but it is specifically mentioned that doesn't like Spanish, which means this whole French has this circle of Spanish as well. That means this part is under Spanish and French both. So I have to exclude it. We want only that likes only French, which is just this part. This part represents only French. Only French, that means there are x plus y number of people that like only French out of 1,000 students. And this probability is given as 1 over 5. I can divide, or I can say, let me multiply both the sides by 5. It will give me x plus y over 200 is equals to 1. Or x plus y is equals to 200 is my first equation. So at least it's easy for me to know that people who like only French are 200. But we have to calculate both the values of x and y. The second equation, we have to read it once again. The information is given, that's the probability. What other information given? The other value given is this one. The school has 1,000 students. That means if I add all these up, it should be equals to 1,000. So that means x plus y plus 2x plus 5x plus y plus 5y minus 5x plus 2y plus 50 is equals to 1,000. From here, this will be x, 5x minus 5. Okay, so this would be 3x. And if I add all y's, this will give me 5y. Plus 50 is equals to 1,000. 3x plus 5y is equals to 950. That's my second equation. Now I can easily solve either by elimination or by substitution. Let me do it by elimination. So 3x plus 5y is 950, whereas x plus y is 200. Let me multiply below equation with 3 in order to make x coefficient same. Subtract, subtract, subtract. This is 2y, this is 350, and y is equals to 175. If y is 175, put that in here. So x plus 175 equals 200. So x is 25. Now it's very easy to fill all that up. X plus y, so this part is 200. 2 times x, which is 50. 5 times x, 125 plus 175, that is 300. This part, y minus 5 times 25, which is 50 here. And 2y is 350. So we fill this whole Venn diagram. Part B says, what's the probability that a randomly selected student likes both Spanish and English? Both Spanish and English, that is the common intersection of both the circles of Spanish and English. This circle represents Spanish, whereas this circle represents English, and their intersection is clearly this one. And this intersection is what? 50. So that means the probability is 50 over 1000, which is 1 over 20. Now, question 2 says, the function f and g are such that f of x is 4x minus 5 over 3 and g of x is x minus 1. Find g of fx. So g of fx, that means if I'm saying g of x is x minus 1. So g2 will be 2 minus 1 because I have replaced 2, or I have subbed in the value of 2 in x. Similarly, if it's g of fx, that means I need to sub in the value of x as fx. So in place of x, I'll write f of x minus 1. And what's the value of f of x? That's already given up there, which is 4x minus 5 over 3. So replacing it, I'll get g of fx equals 4x minus 5 over 3 minus 1, or taking LCM will give me 4x minus 8 over 3. And that's the final answer. The next is f inverse of gx. That means if we first have to calculate f of gx and then we have to take the inverse of it. So first f of gx is, for that I have to write f of x. So f of x is 4x minus 5 over 3. So gx would be, I need to replace x with gx, and gx is x minus 1. So 4 times gx minus 5 over 3. And this is x minus 1 as mentioned here. G of x is x minus 1. So 4 times x minus 1 minus 5 over 3. This would be 4x minus 4 minus 5 over 3 and 4x minus 9 over 3. Now, the next is we have to find the inverse. So it's actually f of gx is, and let me write it down, f of gx is 4x minus 9 over 3. So finding inverse of it, that means let me just replace it with y, it would be much more easier. So y is 4x minus 9 over 3, and now I have to make x the subject. When I'm calculating the simple functions, they are in that the y is the subject, whereas in this case x would be the subject. So on cross multiplying, I'm just writing it here. So cross multiplying, I'll get 3y equals 4x minus 9. Moving 9 onto the left hand side, 3y plus 9 equals 4x. And dividing both the sides by 4, I'll get 3y plus 9 over 4 equals x. This is actually your inverse, f of inverse y, because at the very end, we just have to switch x with y and y with x. That means because we have calculated the inverse, and that's why this y will be written as x. And this x is nothing but f of inverse y. Or I can say this is f of inverse gx is 3x plus 9 over 4. This is how we calculate inverse function. If it's not clear, you can go back and repeat this section. Find the value of x if g of fx is equals to f inverse g of x. So g of fx we have calculated as 4x minus 8 over 3. And f of inverse gx we have calculated as 3x plus 9 over 4. Because LCM of 3 and 4 is 12, multiplying both the sides by 12, it will give me 4 times 4x minus 8, and this will be 3 times 3x plus 9. Or we can say by cross multiplying, like it will go up there, it will go up there. They all means the same. It will give you 16x minus 32 is equals to 9x plus 27. Moving this onto the left hand side, this onto the right hand side, 16 minus 9 will give you 7x, and this will give you 59. And x will be 59 over 7. So this is the value for x. Or you can convert it into decimal, or you can keep it in fraction. It's totally on you, unless it's not specifically mentioned. Question 3 says vector AB is A. And here vector AB is A, vector BC is B. Express the vector AC in terms of A and B. So we know A to B is given as A and vector B to C is given as B. Then what would be the vector C, AC? Applying triangle law of addition, vector A to B plus vector B to C is vector A to C. So vector A to B is A, vector B to C is B, hence vector A to C is A plus B. Part B says L is the midpoint of the vector BC and M is the midpoint of vector AB, N is the point on vector AL such that the vector AN NL is K ratio 1 and MNC is a straight line. Work out the value of K. See, L is the midpoint of vector BC. So this is the L is the midpoint of vector BC, this one. And M is the midpoint of vector AB. And similarly, there is a point N on vector AL. So we just have to connect A and L like this. And it says N is the point on AL. So N is the point on AL such that AN ratio NL is K ratio 1. That means this is. And MNC is a straight line. For such questions where they're asking you to give the value of ratio, in which ratio the line is being divided, and specifically if they have mentioned that this is a straight line, we have to use this thing to get the answer. Always remember this part. Whenever you see that you have to prove something, you have to find something, but this line, if you read that MNC and whatever is a straight line, always start with that. This will give you the answer. So MNC, that means I need to join M and C. This one. Like this. Kind of, it's okay. Let's say N be here. We can say N be here more specifically. Okay. So I start with this one. If M and C is a straight line, let me remove this hole to make it more clearer. This is N. So if M and C is a straight line, I can say, because this is the condition for two lines being parallel, or if they are collinear, that means all the lines or the points are lying on the same straight line. And if that's the condition, so in vectors we write M to N is equals to lambda N to C. If I'm on to proving that this is a straight line, so I can say this part Mn is lambda times of NL. That means they are scalar multiplicative of each other. NC, sorry. Now I have to find the value of Mn and try to find the value of M and C, and we can get the answer. So first thing is Mn. How can we calculate Mn? Either we can write Mn is equals to lambda NC, or we can write M to N is lambda times M to C. Anything will work. Anything can give you the answer. That means this part Mn is lambda times of this whole MC. Now M2 and M2C is easy to calculate. Why? Because we know that M is the midpoint. That means A to M is half of A to B, which is A by 2. So this part will be A by 2. A to C we already have calculated in the first part, which is A plus B. So only looking for this triangle, only this triangle I'm talking about. This triangle, if I'll apply the vector law of addition, so A to M, vector A to M plus vector M to C is equals to vector A to C. From here, vector M to C will be vector A to C minus vector A to M. A to C is A plus B, and A to M is A by 2. So finally answer would be A by 2 plus B. This is vector M to C. Now, we have to look for vector M to N. This specific part, how can I calculate it? Now, see this one. It says, whatever your side is missing, whatever vector is missing, always go for the triangle. That means suppose vector A to M is missing. So you have to see that A to M is the side of which triangle. Similarly, here we are calculating vector M to N, which is this one. So we have to see that M to N is a part or is a side of which triangle, and clearly I can see the only triangle of which this is a part is this triangle, this smaller triangle, and that's a focus one. So if I draw it separately, this is A, this is M, this value is A by 2, this value is N. So this would be M to N we have to calculate, and A to N we know it was divided into K ratio 1. So I can say this is K ratio 1, or in fraction it would be K over K plus 1. This is how we convert a ratio into fraction, that particular ratio and divided by plus of both the ratios. So K over K plus 1, but of which, of this whole A to L. That's it. That's how you convert the ratios into fraction. If I'm saying that A ratio B is 2 ratio 3, so I'll be saying A is 2 by 2 plus 3 fifth part, and B is 3 by fifth part of the total. So if I'm saying that this line AB is divided into ratio 2 ratio 1, so I'll be writing this is 2 by 2 plus 3, that is 2/3, but 2/3 of what? This whole. Obviously this part is 2/3 of the bigger thing, that is the whole AB, and this would be 1/3 of AB. So the same thing we are doing it here. That means this is K by K plus 1 of A to L. So I can say that if I'll apply A to M plus M to N is equals to A to N. A to M is A by 2. M to N we have to calculate, and A to N is K by K plus 1 of A to L. So M to N will be K over K plus 1 times AL minus A by 2. And what's A to L? A to L, for that we have to use this triangle, this whole triangle, this one. Let me just draw this one separately to make you understand. This triangle I have drawn separately, A, L, C. A to L we have to calculate. L to C is the midpoint of B to C. B to C is B, so L to C would be B by 2. So AC we have already calculated, which is A plus B. So it would be A to L plus L to C is equals to A to C. A to L would be A to C minus L to C, and A to C is A plus B minus L to C is B by 2, A plus B by 2. So MN would be k by k plus 1 times a plus b by 2 minus a by 2. We have calculated m to n, which was important. We have calculated m to c, and at the very end we have to put it here. So I'm just putting it here. I'm just running out of the space, so I'm just writing it here. Putting these values in place of m to n, I'm substituting this value k over k plus 1 times a plus b by 2 minus a by 2 equals lambda times m to c is a by 2 plus b. And now we just have to compare. So let me just expand the bracket. So it will be ka over k plus 1 plus kb over 2 times k plus 1 minus a over 2 is equals to lambda a over 2 plus lambda b. And just compare the values of a and b. So on comparing a, which is on right hand side, so a times k over k plus 1 minus half plus k b 2 times k plus 1, and here lambda a by 2 plus lambda b. So a and a, so on left hand side k over k plus 1 minus half is equals to lambda by 2, and for b it's b over 2 times k plus 1 equals lambda. So on rearranging, and I just wrote b, which wasn't, we have just compared it, it should be k here, k over 2 times k plus 1. This and this I have compared. The coefficients of b and b I have compared and made them equals, and coefficients of a and a are equal all. So from here, from the first equation, I can write as 2k minus k minus 1 over 2 times k plus 1 is equals to lambda by 2, and the bottom one is k over 2 times k plus 1 is equals to lambda. Now what I can do, I can just simply divide it to get the answer. 2 times k plus 1, 2 times k plus 1 will be cancelled out. Lambda and lambda will be cancelled out. Remaining would be k minus 1 over k is equals to half. So 2k minus 2 is equals to k is equals to 2, and hence we got the answer. We have to find the ratio, ultimately what they are asking. Work out the value of k, which is 2. If it's not clear, you just have to understand that we have compared the coefficients, and if this thing, how to solve, if it's not clear with you, these two are simultaneous equation. This is equation 1 and equation 2. We can solve, if you are more comfortable with elimination method, you can solve with that as well. And I thought that by dividing it would be easier for me to get the answer, so that we can entirely eliminate lambda and get the answer. So it's totally on you how you want to solve it. Then moving on to our last question, the question number 4, which says this is a question of a 3D trigonometry. If the vector question is not clear, you always have this video you can go over and see once again. The question 4 says the diagram shows a cuboid A, B, C, D, E, F, G, where BC is 10 centimeters, this one be 10 centimeters. AB is 8 centimeters, this would be 8 centimeters. And AH is 4 centimeter, which is this A 4 centimeters. And find the length of AD, which is already given there. This is actually the diagonal of the cuboid. So to calculate the diagonal of a cuboid in 3D trigonometry, we have to keep on finding the triangles, obviously. And here in the case of cuboid, we'll find the right triangles. So we have the length, width, height, all of them are given. So to calculate this, I have to find a triangle of which this is a side. So this could be this one. This is the triangle ABD. So let me draw it separately to make you understand this one. Let me try to draw it exactly how it's there. Like this. And this is clearly a right triangle because this is a right angle. So this is a right triangle. Its height is 8. And this BD we don't know. BD is actually the diagonal of this rectangle, the bottom rectangle, the base rectangle. And this triangle is also the 90-degree triangle. So let me draw that also. So this one is like this. I have drawn this triangle, and this triangle being BDC. So this is 10 centimeters, this is 90 degrees, and DC would be 4 centimeters. Now we can apply Pythagoras to calculate it, and this is definitely 10 squared plus 4 squared, which is root of 116. Now we have already calculated BD, which is root of 116, so this is root of 116. So now on applying Pythagoras, this one being BD and this one BA. So AB is 8, BD is root 116, and AD being the hypotenuse, which is root of 8 squared 64 plus 116. And that's equals to root of 180, which is 13.41. So the length of ADB is 13.41. For next one, find the size of the angle AD and the plane AHBG. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. So find the size of the angle AD and plane AHBG. So AHBG, this one. This is the plane, and this one being, let me show you, this is the plane, and this one is the line AD. And we have to calculate the angle in between, that means this angle clearly. That's the angle in between that. And for that we can just use this triangle, for which we already are aware of the sides. This is the same triangle, 8 and root 116, and this is the angle. For this one I can apply any, because we are aware of all the three sides, so it's perfectly fine. We can use tan theta. So tan theta is equals to opposite, so root 116 over 8, opposite over adjacent, which is root 116 over 8. From here I'll get tan theta is equals to, so this is equals to 1.34, and theta is equals to tan inverse 1.34, which will give you 53.26 degrees. So these were the 4 questions, and now the last one, which is the 5th question. 5th question says MPN is 30 degrees. So according to our first theorem of circle, that angle at the center is always twice at the circumference, and this whole MN is making a subtending angle at center and circumference. So if this is 30, this is going to be double of it, which is 60. Now it's given that ln is a tangent to the circle, this one. So we know the circle theorem, which says angle between the radius and the tangent is always 90 degrees, which is this one. So if I see this triangle, this one is, one angle is 90, one is 60. So by angle sum property, this is going to be 30 degrees. Now it says that find the equation of the circle. Equation of the circle, they have specifically mentioned, and we are assuming if so center is not mentioned, because in GCSEs we always have the center 0, 0. So we are assuming that equation of circle be x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared, and all we need to do is to find the radius of the circle. We know O to N is a radius of a circle, and this O to M is also the radius of the circle, and M to L is given as 5 centimeters. So this part is 5 centimeters. Now this is a right triangle. I can use a trigonometry in it. That means I can apply trigonometry sine 30. Even it wasn't necessary to solve this one, this angle. This angle was more than enough to find this. But that, I thought to give you a better clarity of it, and that's why I've calculated all the angles. So sine 30 is opposite over hypotenuse. Sine 30 is half, and solving I'll get r plus 5 is equals to 2r, and r is equals to 5 centimeters. So Radius is 5 centimeters. Our equation is x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared, which is 25, and this is the equation of the circle. Part B says if the coordinate n is 3, k, this coordinate n, which is a part of the tangent as well as the part of the circle, has coordinates 3, k. That means we don't have the equation of a tangent, but we do have the equation of a circle. So x and y can be sub in as 3 and k. So x will be 3 and y will be k squared is equals to 25. K squared is equals to 25 minus 9, which is 16, and taking root, I'll get ks plus minus 4. So it can be on either side. So we don't know. So k can take any value, which is plus minus 4. And then we have to find the equation of the tangent. So in that case, if k is plus minus 4, we can have two different equations of tangent. Considering 3, 4 be our coordinate and 3, negative 4 be our coordinate. We know it's y is equals to mx plus c. This is our circle, this is center, and this is the point 3, 4. So the gradient, and this is the tangent. So gradient of the circle is change in y over change in x. So 4 minus 0 over 3 minus 0 is 4 over 3. And this, the gradient of this is 4 over 3, and gradient of this line, which is perpendicular to the radius, will be negative 3 over 4. We know that if two lines are perpendicular to each other, they have the negative reciprocal. The gradients are negative reciprocal of each other. So this will be y is equals to negative 3 over 4x plus c. And now because this 3, 4 is lying on this tangent, y would be 4 and x would be 3 plus c, and this will be 4 plus 9 over 4 plus c, or 25 over 4 plus is equals to c. The second equation of tangent can be calculated using the coordinate 3, negative 4. So gradient would be negative 4 over 3 for this one. Now on using, if this is a circle, this be 3, negative 4. The gradient will be negative 4 over 3. So it will be negative reciprocal of this, which is 3 over 4. So y is equals to 3 over 4x plus c. On substituting y as negative 4, and this will be 9 over 4 plus c. Moving negative 4, negative 9 over 4 plus c. C is negative 25 plus 4. That means the equation of tangent would be y is equals to negative 3 over 4x plus 25 over 4. That's the first equation. And second would be y is equals to 3 over 4x negative 25 over 4 on substituting these two different coordinates. So that's it for today, and these were all the 5 questions that are very important, that can help you in clearing the other concepts as well. I'm not saying exactly you're going to see these types of questions, but related to it obviously. And also if you're still struggling, you can go for, it's going to be like the weekends, and obviously 1 week off you are going to get. And I'm running the batches there, like small batches of 3-4 students at just £6 per hour, and one-on-one is at £10 per hour, and I'll give you the discount on taking the more number of classes. You can avail up to 30% of discount, which is very, very high amount of discount. So that's it for today. Bye everyone, take care.